What's up, everyone? This is Jeff Shansky, and welcome to episode number 4. Today, we're going to talk about what to do when you have a weekend of fun that maybe you feel you went off track, and how to not let that turn into weeks and months. Sometimes, when you have a weekend, like I just did on Friday, we went to dinner for our wedding anniversary, and then on Saturday, we ended up going to a birthday party that was tremendous, great food, but lots of temptation everywhere. Um, I definitely did indulge a little bit, had some booze, but now, today, I'm recording this, it's Sunday, and we're back on track. So we're going to talk about what that means to stay on track, get back on track. Just because, you go out to dinner, you go to a party, and you maybe indulge a little bit more than you planned, it doesn't mean that you blew it. It doesn't mean that you are just going to scrap all your progress, right? Everything's out the window. And although it may slow progress, you may have a weight loss goal, or maybe you're just trying to maintain. And you know if you if you do anything or take anything away from this episode, it's to understand that you just have to keep going. You can't quit just because you had a couple days or even a week, especially if this is vacation time, right? I'm recording this, it's August, and a lot of people are on vacation or have been on vacation, and sometimes you let yourself go. But the best way to get back on track, and the best way really not to veer too far off track, is to always have a plan. So be prepared and have a plan. So let's start first with what not to do when you're trying to get back on track. And the first thing that comes to mind is the boomerang approach. I call it the boomerang approach because a lot of people think, oh, I had a bad day or a bad couple of days, so now I'm going to go the opposite direction. And this really plays into the whole I want it now mentality, which is, if you gain 20 pounds over 10 years, you're not going to lose 20 pounds in 1 month. So be patient. Don't use the boomerang approach. Just because you had some drinks or a lot of drinks, and just because you went off track with your diet, does not mean that you have to fast or even eat very little. So don't do that. Don't try to do extra exercise. Um, Another bad strategy is when you think about, well, a slice of pizza is 300 calories, so that means I have to run on the treadmill for an hour to burn 300 calories. That is complete garbage. It doesn't work, and it'll crush your mental state. It completely crushes it. Just remember that everyone has a minimum calorie amount that they burn every day. So technically, you could eat a piece of pizza every day and lose weight if your total calories were in check. Now, I don't advise that, but that's possible. And so, if you're burning, say, 2,000 calories, of course, you can eat 2,000 calories. Now, you want it to be as clean as possible, meaning fruits, veggies, low fat meat, low fat dairy. That kind of stuff is really what I'm talking about. So you don't have to eat very little. You don't have to do extra exercise. If you're scheduled to work out, let's say today it's a Sunday and you're scheduled to work out, then get it in. But don't think that now you have to do extra to work off, any of that. Um, don't think that you have to go. This plays into my last point. Don't go to a HIIT class, a high intensity interval training class, or something that makes you sweat. Sweat does not equal a great workout. It does not. So get back on track with just doing what you were already doing to make progress. So don't eat only salads. Don't eat very little. Get back to your higher protein, fruits, veggies. That's absolutely what you should do. Another don't is don't eat fried foods because they soak up the booze. You know, how, I don't know if you've heard about that or heard that, but I can tell you that was what everyone would do. And there were a lot of late nights thinking, yeah, I'm gonna go eat at the diner because it's gonna soak up the food. You don't have to do that. That is absolutely not true. It's not gonna soak up the booze. Um, so those are some points as far as what you should not do. So let's talk about what you should do. And like I mentioned today, I'm recording this on a Sunday, and you know, you really need to be prepared as far as what you're going to do. So if you knew you were going to dinner or going out on the weekend, what was your plan for Sunday? What was your plan for Monday? And hopefully it's get back on track. If you don't have a track or you don't have a plan, message me. You can find me on Instagram. I can help you with that. It's always about being prepared. So today, the first step was to eat similar foods day in and day out. So for me, it was breakfast. I eat a very similar, if not exact, breakfast, which is high protein, tasty every day. That's how I start. That's how I started today. It wasn't, let's go grab some pancakes and um, go, eat out again. Why not? Because the entire weekend is screwed anyway. That's not it. Get back on track, whatever your track is. So get in your quality foods and your high protein, and that'll start you right back like you never veered. And another tip is to eat similar meals day in and day out, really. And as I mentioned, I eat breakfast. It's almost always the same breakfast because that way I think I'm starting the day right. It fills me up, and then it's almost always a good day after that. Because if you start your day hungry, and I know a lot of people will talk about intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is absolutely not magic. If it works for you, great. It does not work for me. It doesn't work for a lot of people with thyroid issues or metabolism issues. A lot of times you want to eat as probably within an hour of the time you wake up. Um, so whatever works for you, do that. Get in similar meals day in and day out. Um, Another way to get back on track is to hydrate. So you don't really need a gallon of water, straight water. Everything counts from teas and coffees and liquids in general. I would recommend using any type of sea salt or electrolytes. Um, Again, if it's your usual routine, just get back into it. Don't overdo it. Don't think, okay, now I have to overhydrate, so I'm going to try to drink a gallon of water when I never do. If you don't do something, don't try to overcompensate for it because had a busy weekend or went off track. Um, Another step here is to get your steps. And laying around is absolutely not good. I can tell you how there were hundreds of weekends where by Sunday you're so wiped out from Friday and Saturday that you just lay on the couch and you don't move. And that is absolutely no good for anyone. So no matter what, whether it's a Sunday or what day, get your steps in. Move. Laying around is absolutely not good for anyone. And then plan out your week. Um, Regardless of your schedule, there's always time to fit in me time, time for yourself. And no time like the better to start today. And if you don't already do that, I would recommend you really start getting into a habit where you will take a calendar and you can use your phone. You can you go old school and just print a calendar out, whatever works for you. I use my phone quite a bit. I'll use Google Calendar. And every day, block time to get in anything from exercise to it could be just your time. If you need to block out 30 minutes to journal or write or just take time for yourself, block that time out. That's your time. And if you do that for, you know, at work, you can certainly do that for yourself and use your time to, with your work calendar. Absolutely. Just block it off. Sometimes I will block off time for exercise. If there's time in between meetings that I need to get some steps and get some movement, that will help you be better at whatever job you have. If you're able to move around as opposed to sit around, that's going to be good. So make sure that you get into the habit, start planning out your weeks and your weekends and trying to block time to make sure you get in your steps, your exercise. If it's at night and you need to take 30 to 60 minutes to meal prep, that'll help you for the next 3 to 5 days, do that. There's so many different things that you can do to move around so that you're not laying around. And planning your week is extremely important. And the best way to really do that is just to set a reminder, whether that's every night, whether that's once a week. Just start doing that. Just put a reminder in your phone, a reminder, using the sticky note in your computer, whatever, wherever is going to be best for you to make sure that you have to plan. So you can certainly schedule a reminder to help you plan your time. Um, and really, it's exercising, it's movement. Exercise is really lifting, right? So you should lift. Everyone at every age should lift. You should move. You should walk. You should be able to prep your meals, unless you are at home 7 days a week, which it's not realistic for most people. And even if you are home, you're probably busy. And most of the time, you may not feel like cooking in between meetings or in between taking care of the kids. So, prepping a couple meals a few days out is a huge win. So, do that. And also, on weekends, it's critical because if you know on a Sunday that you're going to have low energy because you had a Friday or Saturday night that you're out late, your sleep's complete garbage, that's absolutely something that will help you because you're not going to feel like cooking if you already have that done. That's a huge win. And lastly, it really is all about sleep because sleep helps you recharge. And so if you were out late or your sleep was off track, which usually happens on weekends with when it comes to going to a party or going out to dinner, a lot of times you do get off track. Well, the second you can get on track, do that with your sleep. So most sleep experts recommend that you go to sleep earlier. You don't try to sleep in later. And that was a huge mistake I would make, which was always trying to overcompensate by sleeping in on the weekends because I was staying up later on the weekends. And so if it's a Sunday night or even a Monday, try to go to bed a little bit earlier. And that way you're waking up at the same time. You'll have much better energy. You'll be um, just more rejuvenated. And that's a huge one. And so hopefully this was helpful. I can tell you, I wish that I heard this 15, 20 years ago because um, I used to make all of these mistakes. And once you get into that vicious cycle, you don't have anyone to tell you how to get out of it. You really just don't get out of it. And you think that going to work on Monday, just completely exhausted from the weekend, you never really catch up. And then you wait for long weekends and you wait for holidays because that's when you have a chance to catch up when there's some downtime. Well, how many times are there long weekends and holidays? It's not often. And so you really need to plan and compensate every week. And the more you do that, the more you're going to have better energy. You're not going to wish for the weekend. That's something that I can tell you most people I know do. You always hear it every Monday. It's Monday. And then every Friday, how are you? Well, at least it's Friday. The best way to live is to live every day that you're just enjoying yourself and not really wish for something that's not today, right? So today's great regardless. And, just like they say in Seinfeld, I know every day has a feel, and maybe Tuesday and Wednesday don't have a feel. They do to me. And you should really love every day and not wish for certain days of the week because of getting off track. And that's what getting off track means. If you're always on track, even when you have fun and you go out to dinner and you have parties and you socialize, then there really isn't too much time to adjust. You don't have to adjust very much occasionally, but it's really much quicker. And so that's my hope here is that you can make every day as close to the same energy and you don't have to get back on track because you let yourself go. So nobody's perfect. If you do, let one day or 2 days, get back on track. Don't let 2 days turn into 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years like, a lot of us have done in the past. So hopefully this was helpful. And if you have any questions, you can reach me at any time on Instagram. I'm under my name, Jeff Shansky, Gen-Executive Development Coach. You can hit me up on email, jeff.shansky.wellness@gmail.com. And I hope to see you back here next week. I'm going to try to do at least one of these per week, and if not more. Also looking for guests. So if you are someone that has overcome any challenges with regards to health and wellness, mentally or physically, and want to share your story, I would love to have you on. So until next time, have a great week, everyone. See ya.